Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2021 PTDA President Brian Davis.
Thank you. Great video. Thanks to certainly all those companies highlighted, but the ones who weren't as well that kept industry rolling through this pandemic. So at this time, I officially call the annual business meeting of the PTDA to order. Before we begin, thanks to ABB Baldor Alliance for sponsoring our hotel room key cards and Regal Rexnord for sponsoring the meeting room Wi-Fi. Now I'd like to welcome a few special guests. Please stand as I call your name. From the National Fluid Power Association, Aaron Lanke, President and CEO. From the American Bearing Manufacturers Association, Jenny Blackford, President. And finally, I'd like to recognize our honorary life members in attendance today, Bill Childers, Kevin McCloskey, and Dave Strutt. Let's give them all a round of applause. Next, I would like to recognize those companies that have joined our association this past year. Please welcome distributor member TBC, Texas Bearing Company, manufacturer members Connexus Industries, Dodge Mechanical Power Transmission, and Mayer Corporation, and associate member Backbone AI. Welcome to our association family. Our association continues to find ways to better serve our members. The programs and initiatives PTDA offers would not be possible without the valuable work of our volunteer committees. At yesterday's volunteer recognition lunch, we acknowledged the efforts of this year's outgoing volunteers. When I call your name, please stand to be recognized. First, it was my pleasure to thank a member of our board of directors whose term is expiring at the end of this year. I am grateful to Chris Bursack of ISC Companies for devoting his time, expertise, and ideas throughout his term on the board. Secondly, I'd like to recognize the following outgoing committee members. Sam Cooper of Command Industrial Technologies Corporation, John Murphy of Sumitomo Machinery Corporation of America, Bill Fuentes of RBI Bearing. Thanks to each of you for your leadership and guidance. Let's give them all a round of applause. Now it's time to move into the election of the 2022 Board of Directors. To the maximum extent possible, candidates are representative of the diversity of our members by size, product specialization, and geography. In considering candidates for the board, the nominating committee seeks individuals with the qualifications displayed on the screen. The list of nominees was sent to the distributor membership in July. No additional nominations were received. I will continue to serve on the board as immediate past president. The EPTDA president and PTDA Foundation president serve as ex officio members of the board. The manufacturer council chair and vice chair will be elected in a few minutes, and they both also serve on the board. Please hold your applause until after the election is completed. Will the following leaders who are present please join me on stage? PTDA Foundation Board President for 2022, Bill Moore of Eric's North America. From the EMEA Power Transmission Distributors Association, serving as its 2022 president, Des Spillings of Acorn Industrial Services. Manufacturer Council Chair for 2022, Randy Disharoon of Regal Rexnord. Manufacturer Council Vice Chair for 2022, Kristen Jennings of Climax Metal Products Company. Directors who have terms continuing through the end of 2022 are Chris Curran, RBC Bearings, Tom Holtree, Command Industrial Technologies Corporation, Craig Peary of Damar, and the slate for the 2022 Board of Directors includes the following nominees for officers. For President, J.P. Bouchard, General Bearing Service. For First Vice President, Mike McLean, Allied Bearing and Supply. For Second Vice President, Brian Nowak, Kerrs Industrial Solutions. For Treasurer, Bill Shepard, BDI. And those nominated to serve 2-year terms as directors, Jim Jeffers, Applied Industrial Technologies, Rob LaRue, Baldwin Supply Company, Jeff Matson ISC Companies. At this time, I'd like to call for a vote. The key contact from each distributor member company may vote. All those in favor of election of the slate for the board of directors as proposed, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Congratulations to the 2022 board. Thank you all. The 2022 board needs your expertise in developing new programs and services next year. Now is the time to volunteer for a one-year term on a PTDA committee. Access the meeting app to download a volunteer interest form or visit ptda.org/volunteer. We'll be finalizing 2022 committees in the next few weeks. Now I'd like to invite JP Bouchard, PTDA's 2022 president, to the podium. JP, it's my pleasure to honor to present you with the gavel.
Thank you, Brian, and thank you to the membership for affording me the opportunity to lead the association through the next year's Industry Summit, which will be held at the Omni Hotel in Nashville, Tennessee. You won't want to miss it. We hope to see you all there. Brian, it's been a pleasure serving under you for the past 2 years. You've definitely been throwing a few curveballs during your term, and I'm sure that everybody in this room would agree that you were the right person for the job. Thank you for being the best pandemic president that this association has ever seen. On behalf of the membership, I would like to present you with this gift of gratitude.
Thanks, JP. Appreciate it. And hopefully I'm the last pandemic president. But no, we have certainly been thrown some curveballs, but it's been certainly an honor and a privilege. And just want to say thanks, first of all, to B&D for supporting the industry and allowing me to serve. I want to thank the board and committees for all the hard work, and most of all, the staff of PTDA. So a lot of you know the president of PTDA doesn't really do all that much. It's not that difficult a job. So Ann and the staff do a tremendous job every year, but especially in this last 2 years, 18 months, when we've been dealing with so much and planned 2-3 different summits in the last 18 months, and who knows how many pro forma budgets to try to figure out what we can and can't do, and all at the same time taking care of each individual member and their needs. So I just want to give them a round of applause. So now I'd like to welcome Chester Collier. Chester is joining us virtually to conduct the Manufacturer Council elections.
Thank you, Brian. Those considered for the 22 Manufacturers Council were selected because they exhibit the traits shown on the screen. The list of nominees was distributed to the manufacturers membership in July. I would ask you to please hold your applause until the elections are completed. I will continue to serve on the council as the immediate past chair. Will the 4 members of the Manufacturers Council whose terms will continue through 2022 please join me on stage as I call out your name? Tammy Baylog from Flexco. Chris Kaiser from ABB and Baldor Reliance Industrial Motors. Andrew Brown from Whitted Higgins Company. And Mike Power from Ultra Industrial Motion. please stay on the screen. The following members are nominated for Manufacturers Council leadership, and I'd ask them to come up as well. For chair, Randy Disharoon from Regal Rexnord. For vice chair, Kristen Jennings from Climax Metal Products Company. Nominated to serve 3-year terms as council members are Maxine Gomez from Belden Universal, Chris Gomez from Roulan Manufacturing, and nominated to serve a 1-year term as council member is Bill Fuentes from RBI Bearing. The key contact from each manufacturer's member company may vote. All those in favor of election of the slate for Manufacturers Council as proposed, please say aye. All opposed, nay. I'd like to congratulate the 22 Manufacturers Council. Thank you. Now, please welcome the newly elected 2022 PTDA Manufacturers Council Chair, Mr. Randy Disharoon.
Thank you, Chester. I'm honored to take on this role for this next year. And Chester, I know you couldn't be here in person. We miss you, but we are grateful for the time that you have committed this past year and the contributions that you have made for the manufacturer members of the PTDA. And as a token of our appreciation for your tireless efforts this past year, we've already mailed you your award. Congratulations, Chester.
Thank you very, very much, Randy. It's been a real pleasure to serve on the council. And from a manufacturer, and maybe I'd like just to address the group, I think we're always looking for that win-win strategy. And it's always elusive to find, but I can tell you, serving on a council, any of the councils, but particularly the Manufacturers Council, has really been a win-win strategy. I think first of all, we get to help PTDA chart its course for the future, and through these last 2 years, it's been a trying time. And so that's a win, being able to contribute to that success. But I also want to say to everybody who's thinking about joining a committee or a council, it's a personal win as well, because the caliber of people that we get to work with, that I've had the pleasure of working with over this past year, has been absolutely tremendous, and I've learned so much from it. So really, it truly does embody the win-win. If you're thinking about joining a council, if you want to be on the Manufacturers Council, now's the time to do it. It's a wonderful, wonderful learning experience. I want to thank PTDA. I want to thank my council members for the support they've given me over the past year. It truly has been a wonderful learning experience, and I'm going to miss it, and I miss all of you. I wish I was there in person. I apologize for that. Now I'd like to call Brian Davis back to the podium. Brian.
Uptown Funk. Thank you, Chester. At this time, I'm adjourning the annual business meeting portion of the opening session. Following the keynote speaker, please stay for the foundation update and our award presentations. Let's now take a moment to recognize how good it is to be connecting in person this year. Speaking of which, this year's Industry Summit theme is Connect. We chose Connect as the theme because after virtually communicating for over a year, we are finally able to network and connect here in person. It's great to be back with industry channel partners, our peers, and educational speakers who provide insight and solutions. The events and programs you will experience over the next few days are a direct result of the commitment of time, expertise, and innovation from our dedicated group of volunteers. On the screen behind me are the names of those who developed this year's Industry Summit. Let's recognize their efforts with a round of applause. And now let's continue with our program. I know we are all excited to hear the upcoming presentation. Thank you for our keynote speaker sponsor, Laferte North America. Here to introduce our speaker is President Sean Hickey.